am walking, so not riding the one wheel today. Hopefully the sound is a little bit clearer. I am so excited, even though I stayed up super late last night until we started the launch. I was up till like 2, and then had to wake up at 6:30 to get my kids going to school. But I am so excited because today's launch day. It's also my birthday. My wife made me raspberry pancakes, which were delicious, and I am just thrilled to have people finally start going through Epic Web Dev. We've had people with early access and stuff that have been going through and really enjoying it. But now it's available to anybody all over the world, and a bunch of people are already jumping into it. We have this real-time presence thing that will show you the people who are working in the workshop right at the moment, and so it's really cool to see that there are people in there. They're working through the workshop stuff, and I just love it. So I wanted to answer your questions about stuff as part of this early or just getting started on the launch. So first I want to say that this first day, my birthday, is going to be the absolute best discount. In fact, it's an enormous discount. And so by this time tomorrow, we'll have like 2 hours left, or an hour left on that discount. So you don't have a ton of time before we go from a 40% discount down to a 30% discount. But as a bonus for buying on the first day, you also get free access to Epic React and testing JavaScript, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, definitely get it today if you want the very best deal. But yeah, so let's talk about a couple of questions that people have. First of all, I of course had a number of people asking me about wow, Kent, this is a very expensive course. So I'll just address that really quick. First of all, I understand that this is very extremely expensive for people who are not in the US. And so we do support purchase power parity. You don't get all of the same bonuses and things if you get purchase power parity. Bad people in the world are why we can't have nice things, but you will get the primary benefits to the course by going the purchase power parity route, and it is a really big discount with PPP. It is still expensive though, even if you get purchase power parity, or if you live in the US or a more affluent country, then it is definitely expensive for sure. And so there's a garbage truck. I hope you can't hear that. It's only too expensive if you don't understand the value that is offered. So just to not to take it to too much of an extreme, but we don't say that a car that is $10,000 is too expensive. In fact, that would actually be a great deal on a car. And so the amount of money isn't actually what makes something expensive. It's just or makes something too expensive. What makes something too expensive is if it is the cost is more than the value you get out of it. And I realize that it's difficult for you to determine that before you get the course, which is why we offer the 30-day money-back guarantee. So go ahead and grab it, and if you're not satisfied with the value, then you can just email support and say, I'm not satisfied with the value, and they'll refund your money. But you just have to trust me with your time, because that's not something that I can refund. I can't refund your time. But I promise you, hopefully over the decade that I've been doing this, I've earned your trust enough to test things out with your time. And so I hope that you give it a shot, because I really feel like I feel like this is going to be a huge benefit to your career. And I think that you will think that it's worth the cost. I can also tell you that there are people who have gone through the workshops already who have said that even just a single one of the workshops is worth the price of admission. And so just give it a shot. I know that it's expensive, but it is worth the cost in relative to the value that you get out of it. Okay, so let's talk about some other questions, frequently asked questions. Feel free to keep them coming in the chats as well, so we can get to those once I'm finished with a couple of these other questions. Actually, you know what? I'll just get to those right now. So we've got one on prerequisites. So the frequently asked questions on the site, if you go to epicweb.dev/FAQ, you're going to have a bunch of the frequently asked questions there. And one of them is about prerequisites. So I've already got Epic React and testing JavaScript. Epic Web does not supersede those or make those irrelevant anymore or anything. Those are still very valuable courses. So Epic React teaches you React, testing JavaScript teaches you testing, both at a very fundamental and deep level. We definitely use React in Epic Web. And we have an entire workshop on testing in Epic Web as well. But we don't cover the same things as far as testing is concerned. We cover some of the same things, but mostly it's new material. And it's applied in a real-world app setting. Whereas testing JavaScript is going to be a lot lower level. We're talking the fundamentals, like what is a test, and we build a testing framework from scratch, so you really understand what testing frameworks do. And so that's going to be like very complementary there. With Epic React, we go really, really deep on React. In Epic Web, we just kind of assume that you know React well enough to get by, which in the modern age is actually, we've got some really awesome tools that make it so you don't have to be a total React expert to be very effective using it, which is awesome. So prerequisites though, you do need to understand React. You don't have to go through Epic React. You don't have to go through testing JavaScript to be able to start working on Epic Web. That is totally fine if you have like a pretty basic understanding of these things. And so on the frequently asked questions, I've got links to free resources that you can go through that will be like the great resources for you that to get you up to speed. So if you go through those things, then you should know enough to be able to get through that stuff. Another prerequisite is TypeScript. The entire course is in TypeScript. All of the workshops are 100% TypeScript. And so, yeah, having a good grasp of the TypeScript fundamentals would be a good idea. We don't go super deep. In fact, I don't think there's a single time where we create a generic type anywhere. So like even like foundational understanding of TypeScript is enough, and we've got a free resource. It's the Total TypeScript tutorials. So if you go to epicwebdev/FAQ, you'll find this question, and there's a link to those. Also, a little bit of understanding of Node.js, but that's definitely not required. If you've been doing front end, then you've been using Node, and you probably have enough experience with Node to be able to be successful going through that. Let's see. Yeah, and then like enough experience with Git to be able to do a Git pull or a Git clone. That's pretty much it with Git. And then like feel a little comfortable at the command line to execute a couple commands, and that's it. So those are the prerequisites. So thank you for the question. Keep the questions coming. Also, thank you for the birthday wishes. Yes, I am 35 today. So I feel like I've crossed over something. But yeah, just getting older every day. It's good to see friends here in the chat. Hello, friends. I thought you had more hair. I do still have hair. I got it cut just like 2 days ago. How to manage focus, be able to do it constantly for months and years. if by it you're referring to Epic Web Dev, because that's what this is to put together a learning club. So if you go to kcd.im/clubs, you can learn a little bit more about what those are. But the idea is you put together a group of people, it could be total internet strangers, who are all going through stuff together, so that gives you some accountability. So I do strongly recommend learning clubs. I think it's a great idea. So yeah, try a learning club if you want to be consistent and have that accountability. If by it you are talking about just like development, software development in general, I guess I have children. They definitely motivate me to be successful in my career and show up every day. So yeah, get married, have children. They'll motivate you. Okay, awesome. Other questions? Does the 30-day money-back guarantee apply to the sale? Yes, it does. Absolutely. So if you buy today and in 30 days you're not happy for whatever reason, or we've actually had situations like this in the past where somebody bought the course and then their employer wouldn't reimburse them and they can't afford it, then we'll refund you for that as well. So like it's a no questions asked guarantee. You just say I don't want it anymore, and then that's it. Great questions. Okay, cool. Any other questions? I'm also going to be doing a Twitter space, X space, a little bit later on today. I'm going to turn around because I'm getting close to construction. I don't want to get to that. Road construction has been going on for weeks, and it's driving us crazy because now we have to divert where we go. It's not fun. I mean, you gotta appreciate them for doing the hard work and stuff. It's good. So, yeah. So, yeah. As far as the 30-day money-back guarantee is concerned, it's like the reason that we do that is because it is a high ticket item. This is nothing like a Udemy course or anything where if you buy it and you're like, oh, that wasn't very helpful, but no big deal. That was like the cost of lunch and a coffee or something like that. No, if you're not satisfied with this, then that can be a major problem for you. So yeah, 30 days for sure. Okay, I already have both courses. Thank you so much for your support. None of this would have happened without you. Really, really appreciate that support. I guess I'll address this here. There are people who are disappointed, understandably so, that they already had Epic React and testing JavaScript, and there wasn't any special deal. We did give early access to pro license holders of those courses, and it was 40% off. And what we should have done probably is, or in retrospect, we probably should have made today's sale like 35% off or something like that, just because now everybody who had the previous courses kind of feels like they didn't get anything special. But 40% off is still really, really good. So hopefully you can at least be excited and happy for people to be able to get this really good learning, and not feel disappointed so much that your deal wasn't better, because your deal was crazy good anyway. And I hope you enjoyed the years that you had the other courses as well. I know a lot of people who that was transformative for their careers, so I hope that was the case for you. Okay, thank you, MJ. Great. Yeah, okay, I'm not seeing any other questions. Thanks for the thumbs up. I'm told by other YouTubers that likes on videos helps other people find your videos. So like and subscribe, I guess. That's what they say. So anyway, okay, I guess I'm gonna sign off and go look at the storm that's happening on X. and it is 8:55 my time. I've got another hour and 5 minutes before that thing. Oh, Dale, got another question. Does your course get into how JS is going back to server rendering? Yeah, so we definitely cover server rendering right from the very start. The very first lesson, yeah, from the first lesson to the last, we are rendering on the server. And so yes, we definitely talk about server rendering, and it's pretty sweet, I must say. Okay, cool. Well, thanks everybody. If you are curious about anything else, what I would suggest is you really should take a moment to like explore what the learning environment is like. So if you go to epicweb.dev/get-started, then you'll find or if you go to the workshops, there's like a little link. So yeah, epicweb.dev/workshops, there's a little link that says get started. So that will take you to the get started page, and that shows a video where I give a tour of the workshop app, and it is so good. So give that a look if you haven't seen that already, because it will give you an idea of like what the scope of this workshop experience is like. This learning environment is unlike anything you've ever seen. It is so good. So yeah, I think that is it. Should I finish my Epic React before starting Epic Web? Great question, Dale. So you definitely don't have to. I would say that the most experience with React that you need for Epic Web is what you can get from the beginner's guide to React. So if you just Google that, you'll find my course on that. It's like a 2.5-hour course. And so if you feel comfortable with the material in there, then you're ready for Epic Web. But if you want to get really good at React, then Epic React is the way to do that. So it kind of depends on what your goals are. I definitely recommend both, because they both will make you better at what it is that you're going to be doing. So Epic Web, though, like a lot more targeted to web, and with transferable skills on the website. Epic React is very focused on React. And yeah, there's actually also, in the frequently asked questions, there's a question about what tools are used in Epic Web. So we've talked about React already, but there's also just a bunch of other tools, because it's very practical. We're building a real application, and kind of building on itself over time. And so yeah, I do think that you like, and actually this is another good question, is like, what order should I go through all the material? You should go in the order that they are laid out on the website, because it is very linear. But of course you can't jump around. I'm not your mom. You do what you want. But yeah, I kind of feel like I lost track of where I was going with that. But yeah, if you want to get really good at React, then Epic React is what you want to do. But you don't have to finish it first. Sometimes I can take a long time to answer questions. Okay, Raul, what's up? Hi people, I just want to say that this course is totally worth it. Oh, thank you. It's always awesome to hear from people who've gone through it. The material and course environment is amazing. Thank you. See, these testimonials mean a lot, because people are looking at the price and they're like, oh, geez, this is different from what I'm used to. And so I need people like you, Raul, to tell people that yes, this is different from what you're used to. So thank you for sharing that. You also said you won't regret getting a ticket for those. Thank you. All right, Prakar, late in India right now. We'll begin Epic Web tomorrow, hoping to complete in a month at 6 hours per day. Is doable? So that really depends on your skill level and everything, of course. But 6 hours a day, I mean, that's a very aggressive pace. I don't know that I would recommend it for retention purposes. Your brain does need to have breaks, That said, like if you do a good job of like reviewing past material, like including review as part of your process, be okay. Um, it's just also make sure that you're kind of building your own project alongside, just to give you a break from the workshop app or the app that we're building in the workshop, because I do think that it can be a challenge just mentally to go through that every 6 hours every day. That is a very dedicated pace. Can you finish in a month at 6 hours a day? Probably, yeah, you could probably do that. Um, yeah, you could probably do that, but like that would be really painful to your brain. Probably. That's just like a lot to shove into your brain in so short a time span. So, but yeah, definitely keep me updated. I really, really want to hear about people's experience going through this stuff. So please tell me, how is it going? Keep me updated on your experience. Like, especially if it's good, because that makes me feel great. But also very much if it's not a great experience, I want to hear about that too. So that, yeah, I don't want you to have bad experiences. There may be ways that we can make the experience better. Also, if you're interested, there are ways you can make the experience better because everything's open source. Okay, let's take a look at other questions. Does the course cover pagination on the server side? That's a good question, Manuel. We don't have any exercises on pagination, but it's like simple things like that, which I'm hoping to make tips for. So if you go to epicweb.dev/tips, you'll find that there are a bunch of tips on there already. And yeah, those are all free actually. So even if you don't have a license to Epic Web Dev, you should be able to see those. And yeah, that is definitely something I could create a tip for. You know, what would be cool is if I made a place for people to submit ideas and upvote different tips. So yeah, I'll think about a good way to do that, because I think that would be great. But yeah, pagination is definitely something that could be done in a single tip. The things that are included in the workshop app or in the workshop series are things that are things you have to do in pretty much every app. And very generally applicable to applications. And then I would think of like, oh, there are some other things that would be useful. Sometimes I would include them. So there's one exercise that is like automatic logout after like a time-based logout thing, with like the modal that pops up and says, hey, we're about to log you out. Are you still like active and stuff? So we do have that. And then Kelly, the coworker, one of our emoji companions, she actually removes it after you're done. So we do have a couple of things like that, but for the most part, the stuff that you're actually doing in the exercises is stuff that most applications need. And then all those other smaller things like pagination, that's like a single tip. I could teach that in like 6 minutes. So yeah, look forward to that. And feel free to give me ideas of other tips that you'd like to see. Okay, let me see. Oh, Raul, thanks. Those courses I hired for a very big company. Wow, you got hired. See, those are the stories I want to hear. Thank you, Raul. I don't want to, I don't want to make a small course that has a small impact on people's lives. I want to make a big course that has a big impact on people's lives. And so hearing that is like, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So thank you, Raul, for that. Let me know about that. Amir, what's up? Happy birthday. Thank you. Does Epic Web cover Rocket Rental, or the plans changed and focus on the Epic stack now? Good question. Too big. So it's there's just so much domain specific knowledge that you have to, and so we pivoted to we used how the or like the best way to structure a project, and that is what turned into the Epic Stack. So I basically took all the tooling and stuff that I put together for Rocket Rental and removed all of the framework specific things, or all the application specific things, and just left the like as part of Epic Web. That's like the foundation. My phone keeps on saying I'm reconnect bars 5G. I don't know. So yeah, Rocket Rental, super helpful. Feel free to still reference it and stuff, but some elements of it are going to be a little bit dated, and it's still a very interesting like problem to try and solve. But yeah, now Epic Web covers the Epic Stack. That's what we're building, the Epic Stack, so you get an understanding of all the underlying layers. So it's still useful if you're not using the Epic Stack, or if you're not even using the tools that the Epic Stack uses. But yeah, so that is that is the answer to your question. Thanks, Samir. Okay, is Remix still your preferred full stack? Yes, 100%, Dale. Remix is my preferred full stack. It is fabulous. It is so good. And I know that some people are a little concerned about that because they're using Next.js or using Svelte or whatever else. And you can totally apply the stuff that I'm teaching in this workshop series to whatever web thing you're doing. And I've got people who've gone through the workshops already who went back to work and worked with completely different tools and were able to apply what they learned in those environments. So that was actually a really important thing to me. That's why this is not called epicremix.dev. This is called Epic Web, because it's supposed to be for web developers, and web is bigger than Remix. So that said, I am wearing a Remix jacket right now. Remix keeps me warm. So okay, thanks for the birthday wishes and everything. That's very nice. If I'm using Next.js and I don't use Remix, I know where this is going. Would the course be valuable for me? Because I'm scared that everything in the course will be with Remix. So, yep, just answer that question. It is a common question. So, yeah, great question. And yeah, the answer is, in fact, I can use Gwen specifically. She went through all of the workshops back in August, and just a week or two ago, she messaged me and said, "Hey, I just want you to know that the Epic Web workshops have been super helpful for me to get up to speed in what I'm doing. We're using Next.js instead of Remix, and it was still really helpful for her." So, and she's not the only one who's told me exactly that. So, yep, even if you're not using Remix, you will definitely get a lot out of Epic Web, which is very much the intent. Great question. All right, Jason, I'm 2 years into professional software developer. How much under the hood explanation does Epic Web go into? Yeah, so right from the very first lesson, we talk about getting styles and other assets on the page using the link tag. And every exercise starts with basically a blog post about the foundations of whatever it is that we're going to be learning about. So in this case, with getting styles or other assets on the page, we talk about the link tag, and we go into pretty good detail about that. And it's not just the instructions there, but also a video with me explaining all of that stuff as well. And so, yeah, to answer your question, it goes pretty deep under the hood. We spend a lot of time in the dev tools looking at the network tab. We talk a fair bit about caching. There's a lot that goes into what Epic Web Dev has to offer for you. So definitely, in answer to your question, it goes pretty deep. All right, Suprith, thank you so much. You're awesome. We got a retracted message, so hopefully that was okay. Yeah, we're down here saying it's reconnecting. It's on. If I already bought previous version of Purchase from the grant. Okay. Wanted to report an issue. So they won't all be visible, but there are actually a lot that are. So if you go to like the introduction and I think the outro as well, those for each workshop, those are visible. And then the intro for each exercise is also visible, but me working through the solutions, those are not. If you do see that those are visible, then that is a bug. But yeah, the intros are all visible. And so, yeah, let me know if that is not the case for you. Thank you for the birthday wishes, Anton. Okay, well, great. I'm just going to wait another second to see if any other questions fly in here, and if not, then I will take off. And as a reminder for those of you who showed up a little later, I am doing another Q&A, this time on X. So you can go over to X. I've got a Spaces thing that we're going to be doing in about, what time is it? It's 9:15. At 10 o'clock is when we're going to be doing that. So about 45 minutes. Maybe I'll just keep walking. It's good for my health anyway. Okay. How long do you plan to keep up the Epic Web up to date? So first, I will say this first. You should base your purchase on what you see available today. You should not have any assumption of anything that's going to happen in the future. Charge a subscription instead of a license, and so then you'd be paying a monthly fee, because so just don't assume anything is going to happen in the future at all. That said, I do plan on doing my very best to keep things up to date. So with Epic React, I've made sure that I recorded the videos of Epic React on React 16, and now we're on React 18. But all of the material, as you're going through the Epic React workshops, they're all using React 18. And there are like just a couple of changes that happened to React between these versions. And I updated all of the material to account for those changes and mention those changes in the instructions. And that is what I plan on doing for Epic Web. And then in some cases, I'll re-record some videos and stuff like that too. So it is like, it's definitely, changes will happen. And I do plan on keeping things up to date. But again, do not base your purchase on that. In fact, you should, like when software companies say, such and such is coming soon or whatever, don't ever base your purchase on what they say is coming soon. Base your purchase on what you can buy today. That is advice from MKBHD, actually. So, there you go. Good question. Thanks for the play. Epic Web Dev is exactly what I'm looking for. Woohoo! Go, Jason. You got this. Will PPP users get the Epic React and Testing JavaScript? No, that offer is only for the full pro license holders. Awesome. Thank you. Solution. Shivam, if you could send support an email and just link to the video that should not be visible, then they can take a look at that. Thank you. Okay, great. Well, that was fun, folks. We'll see you in like a half hour or so, or we won't see you because it's X Spaces, but in a half hour or so, I will be on X doing a similar Q&A to this. So if you think of any other questions, then jump in there, and happy to chat over there. Okay, forgot to ask the price difference on Epic Web for small countries. Yes, we do have regional pricing. That's what PPP is. That's purchase power parity. What are some of the tools we'll see in Epic Web applied outside of Remix? So, I mean, all of the things that you learn on Epic Web can be applied outside of Remix. But yeah, if you want to dive into some of the specifics, there's actually a frequently asked question about this. Go to the FAQ, epicweb.dev/FAQ. All right, thanks everybody.